Hey there, welcome to AI After 50. This is episode number 1, and this is the podcast for experienced professionals ready to learn and develop their AI skills. If you're over 50, this is your path to becoming AI confident and professionally indispensable. This week, AI literacy for those of us over 50. What we're going to cover is generative AI and what ChatGPT and these other platforms that you've heard about on the news and read about, people have told you about. This is all generative AI. And essentially, the reason they say that, these models have been trained. For example, ChatGPT has been trained on probably every book, every paper, every podcast, every audio clipping, every chart, every image. And I'm not kidding, that exists. And because of its learning, it's developed patterns. And essentially what the AI does when you speak to it, it's really just guessing the next word. So if I was to say, how now, Brown, you would expect the AI to say cow. And it will, because that is the succession of words that lead up to that last word. And essentially, again, when you're having this conversation with the AI, that's what it's doing. It's guessing at a very remarkable and accurate rate what the next word will be. We're going to talk about ChatGPT, the intro to that, the setup, and we'll complete that for you. And then we'll introduce an AI learning tip. A couple of those every episode. And this week, we're going to talk about establishing a prompt library. And then we're going to have our first exercise. We're going to get you into ChatGPT, and we're going to be doing some prompt basics. So the pathway to AI literacy begins right here. Let's understand basic concepts today. And don't forget to take away, and this is the most important thing, you can download the show notes, and everything we went over will be in the show notes, including the exercise on basic prompting, and then you can just work on your own during the week and then come back next week and learn. And we're going to be learning something new every single week and building upon our AI skill set. So we told you essentially what generative AI does, but what does it do, or how do you think of it? You probably should think of generative AI as that intern that you've always wanted, that's super smart, that can learn anything within seconds, and it will be your professional helper, your professional right arm, essentially. Generative AI essentially is a type of artificial intelligence. It can create new content from, as we told you before, existing data and knowledge. So when you tell it to write a blog article or summarize this document for me, and you upload the text of the document, it will go ahead and do that. And what all of this gets you, number one, increased efficiency. So imagine taking the reports that would usually take about an hour or maybe pretty much of your day at the time, summarizing those things in no time at all, summarizing meetings, summarizing email, create presentation. And again, this just frees up more time for your strategic higher thinking and higher learning. Enhanced creativity, generative AI, you can brainstorm ideas when you're sitting in front of a blank screen and the ideas just aren't coming. You can go to ChatGPT and start ideating and creating with ChatGPT, and then soon you'll find out that blank page has something on it, and then it'll give you something to go on. And usually the AI will get you about 80 to 85% there, but the rest needs to be done by you, the human. It also, AI improves your decision making because you do these tasks faster. It'll give you a clear vision of what's going on in different projects and things you're doing at work. And it just makes your decision making easier and faster. And finally, personalizing experiences for your customers. AI is able to and allow you to more personalize those messages. And we'll talk about those types of things as we go on. So that's what AI is. What AI is not. Let's talk about that. So AI cannot understand, it can't feel, even though it may seem like it, especially when you're talking to it, especially in the advanced voice mode, and we'll get to that in one of these episodes. And it doesn't think strategically, it doesn't have common sense, it doesn't think like you do as a human being. It can't be original, it can't be truly creative, and although that may contradict or sound like it contradicts what we talked about before, but the only reason it's so good at what it does, being creative and giving you those ideas and help you brainstorm so well, is because, as we said, it's already learned off of so much data. It knows patterns and those types of things, and again, it guesses the next word very well. Quickly, my AI journey, it started, back in about 2015. I was down in downtown Cleveland, and there was a gentleman that was giving a lecture on machine learning, and I attended it, and it really fascinated me, caught my attention, and I tried to learn as much as I can. So hung around and was paying attention to what was happening with different things of AI, but really nothing was happening until November of 2022. I was at a conference in San Diego, California, and one of the folks that were there, I'm acquainted with through different conferences over the years. He said to me, "Hey, Mark, there's this new AI thing coming out from a company in San Francisco. I can get you early access to it if you'd like." And I said, "Sure." And I think it was maybe a day or two before it was actually released to the public. And that was ChatGPT. My first moment with ChatGPT, as yours will be, or if you've already used it, already has been, it was just like, wow, what this thing can do. And you just started playing with it. And I found myself, I think 4 hours later, getting up out of my chair, just shaking my head thinking, oh my gosh, what can these things, what will this be able to do in the future, and what we'll be able to do for work professionally, personally, and those types of things. That's a quick synopsis of my AI journey, which continues to this day. We're all continuing to learn, and we're going to learn right alongside each other as the weeks go on. Let's talk about ChatGPT and the setup. So if you go to chatgpt.com, you can sign up for a free account. But the difference between the paid version, which is $20 a month, and which, by the way, is the best $20 a month I ever spend for what this tool is capable of doing. But the free version is what we're starting with here on the podcast, and it'll work just fine for what we're going to be doing. Professionally, ChatGPT will probably increase your production by a percentage point of 15 to 20%. If you start figuring it out now, start using the platform, see what it does, see what it doesn't do, how it will fit into your workflow, and what tasks can you automate daily in your professional and your personal lives. I use ChatGPT every single day, both professionally and personally. I'm an e-learning developer, so there's a lot of things, the software I work with, I don't know. But when I need to know something that I don't know, within seconds, I have my answer, where it used to take minutes and sometimes a half hour to an hour just to answer one single question. I'm not telling you to go out and buy that, but it's pretty cool. And if you know somebody that has the paid version, check it out. Have them sit down at their computer and see what it could do, because it's amazing, all the different things it can do with the paid version compared to the free version. So, how does it work? How do you get this information out of ChatGPT? It's called prompting. And some people call it prompt engineering. That just seems so hard. So we're just going to call it prompting from here on out. Essentially, it's just giving the AI the instruction of what you want it to do. So here is our first exercise. I want you to go in after you signed up for ChatGPT, and the prompt window is at the bottom. You'll see it's just like a text window where you enter text. And I want you to enter this. Write me a blog post about, and then pick the subject. It could be gardening. It could be anything you do at work. It could be just anything. I would say do something personally so you can get maybe a better sense of what it can do. So if you like gardening, say gardening. If you like cooking, say cooking. But just say, write me a blog article on whatever topic that is. Do that, and then look at the different answers. So by the way, once ChatGPT answers your question, and if you don't like the response, there's a regenerate button off to the right side, and you'll see it. It's clear, and it will regenerate another answer for you. And it will never give you the same answer twice. Maybe similar, but never the same answer verbatim twice in a row. So that is your assignment for this week. Open up ChatGPT and say, write a blog post about, and then you pick the topic. I also wanted to talk about a prompt library. So when you start working with these prompts and these AI platforms, you are going to want to use them again. And that's why you should create a prompt library. It just could be a Google Doc, a Word doc on your computer, it could be, heck, a text document. It doesn't matter. It's just a place to store your ideas so they're fresh. So you can always refer back to this prompt library document or series of documents, which mine has turned into based on the different subject matter that I've wrote prompts about over the last couple of years. But establish that prompt library. It will become actually like money. It will become a valuable asset to you, not only professionally, but personally as well, because it's your thoughts, it's your ideas, it's your intellectual property, if you will. So start that prompt library when you start this, and your first prompt in there will be, write me a blog article on, and you choose the topic. So today we've covered generative AI, what it is, my small journey, that continues to this day with you. We talked about ChatGPT. We introduced it. We told you how to get access to ChatGPT, the free and the paid versions. And then we gave you your first exercise here on the AI After 50 podcast, and that is write me a blog article on, then you pick the topic. Now, the show notes. You're going to want to download the show notes. Everything that we've talked about is in the show notes, but we also give you an opportunity to subscribe via our email, and we send you the notification every Monday morning when a new episode drops, and also we'll send you premium show notes. So in other words, maybe things we didn't go over here and some other things I'm thinking about as I write the show notes. Maybe I'll include a couple more exercises in there, extra tips, that kind of a thing. And then, of course, you'll be notified on Monday when a new show drops. So premium show notes are available. Fill out your name, email address, and then we'll get you on the list and we'll send you those premium show notes every single week on Monday morning. So I think that's about it for episode number 1. We're going to call it a wrap. I want to thank you so much for joining us. Please subscribe wherever you get your favorite podcast, and how you found this podcast. Let me know. mark@marktenet.net. That is my email address. If you have any questions, maybe some different things you want to learn for some subject matter in future episodes, please let me know. We're here to learn together, and a million heads are better than one. And as we do this, we could all come up with different subject matters and different things, because if you're asking the question, somebody else has that question too. Hell, I might even have that question. So until next week, keep prompting, keep practicing. Don't forget your exercise. Keep learning about AI, and take care. See you next week.